is item B. Councilmember Davis Holmes requests an item to modify how oral communications time is allocated to persons who wish to speak on multiple issues. Councilwoman, this is your opportunity to persuade us.
You persuaded.
Okay. That being the case, as the mayor, I'd like to direct this item be sent to the committee that Councilwoman Davis Holmes sits on. It is the City Council committee called, I lost my page.
Which one is it?
Yeah, you're on it. So hold on a second. Ordered. Next item on our agenda, Mr. City Attorney, he likes that fast stuff. Oh, yeah. Next, we're going to go to concluding communications from staff. We should start with our city clerk.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Councilman Gibson.
Well, wasn't that the time for any of us to add some stuff? I want to add some stuff on the agenda. Isn't that the time?
You can tell this. Yeah, you can tell the acting city manager that you wanted added to the next in the same form into the category of council members present requests to add items to future agendas.
Me first.
Okay. I'm sorry. Then we'll go to Mayor Pro Tem Sandrina. You want to tell this acting city manager, Jackie Acosta, what you'd like on the next council agenda in this category.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Me?
Yeah, you're
All
first.
right, okay.
Well,
Thank
I
you.
was really first.
he's queued up. Actually, she was first.
Yeah, and you erased me.
Okay.
Well, because I thought you were done. Okay, let's go to Councilwoman Davis Holmes, then Mayor Pro Tem Santorina, then Councilman Gibson.
First of all, I'd like to know or get a report on the PLA monitoring with the Solaris Group, Solis, that has been laying around for after we gave directions. I haven't seen anything back.
1 year anniversary.
Yes.
Yes, well, the last time we talked about it, you asked for quarterly reports, and December is the time for the quarterly report. I just noticed it on my follow-up list, so it'll be on in December.
The contract has been signed, and we're ready to go. I'd also like, Mr. City Attorney, I'm kind of upset with you. You promised and assured us, and it's nothing against our acting city manager, that you would have an item on the agenda. I don't know if you guys haven't noticed, but we're hemorrhaging. And for some reason, it didn't show up on the agenda for this council meeting, after you assured me that this body, that it would be there. And so therefore, I'm letting you know publicly I'm kind of upset with you. So I know we need to do something, and if it can be on the agenda for the next meeting to discuss, because you said we didn't want to be in violation of the Brown Act. I don't need to rehash all this, but whatever it takes for December 3rd, I'd like to see it. If that's okay, you don't need to meet with me, just make it happen. Also, I passed out some.
You passed that?
We are in the process of doing. We need some department directors, and I know we're under the. We are looking at doing a salary survey, but are we going to just fall on our face before we can make a decision? And I passed out to my colleagues on the city council, because I got on the phone and went and looked at all the contract cities that are similar to ours, and looked at their salaries, what they're paying their department directors. This city needs some help, and a salary survey, in my mind, is 6 months off. If we look at this salary, in my opinion, if we look at this salary, and Mr. City Attorney, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but if we're in the middle of if we would recruit for department directors or whatever and fall within these categories, if we are not, if the salary survey comes back in higher, we can make an adjustment. But right now, Jackie, you've been sick since Thursday. You would have had an acting as the acting city manager. It does not make sense to me that we are in this position, and all we need is for one thing major to fall through the crack, and we're not going to look too good. So I don't know how we can do a recruitment or whatever, but we need to make this happen. we have never, as a city, been in the situation that we're in right now. Okay, we got acting, and the acting city manager just running the entire city with an acting. You got acting. Well, it doesn't make sense. This salary survey is at least 6 months out. At least 6 months. Have we put in a requisition for the salary survey? Whatever you want to call it.
Yes, we're just about to release our RFP to find, because the council authorized us to hire an outside consultant to do the salary survey. So Dwayne's got that.
Are you doing a
ready
salary
to go.
survey for who? Top management, the entire city?
No, the entire city.
So we can drown while we're waiting for this salary survey to come in. I'm just saying that these cities that I emailed you and I passed out to my colleagues shows what contract cities that have populations similar to ours look like. And why is it that we can't hire some department directors? We already said we were under department director format. Is the organizational chart has to be worked out, and what is preventing us from moving forward?
Well, I don't think that the council has taken a formal action. The council has asked that we look at reorganization, and I've been working on some proposed reorganization ideas, and I've shared it with a few of you. But no formal action has been taken to say that that's the structure we're going to use. So we don't really have those positions to recruit for at this
I
very
beg the
point in
difference.
time.
We reorganized under David Biggs, and all the general managers were demoted to and their title was changed to department director.
Right, but the council voted on that action.
We did, and so it's department director format. We've already voted on that.
Right, but in a configuration which is something that I don't think is what the council wants to move forward. And all I'm saying is that I think we should get that worked out before we hire new directors, because, again, what I was suggesting would go back to a previous configuration of how the departments were.
But the department
structured.
directors.
They are directors, that's true.
I'm not saying hire 6 or 7. I'm saying 4 to get us going. If you need 6 after that, so be it. But right now you have nothing.
Right. So then we would be hiring somebody basically saying that you're going to be responsible for A, B, C, and D. And then after they come on board, we might say, well, we're reorganizing and now you're only in charge of A and B.
Do.
Yeah.
That's what
We
people
could do that. We could do that.
We've done it before. It's not out of the ordinary is what I'm saying. We already have a director format. We know we have 4 vacancies. And it's not, now if you decide and this council decides that, okay, no, we're going to go to 6, you just hire them. But right now we have nothing. We have nothing. And I'm just, how do we get to something other than sitting up here saying we're all acting? I'd like to hear from my colleagues if I could.
No.
That being the case, we'll go to Mayor Pro Tem Santorina. Are you on the same subject or different
I
subject?
just want
I wonder if she has the same
Ah,
subject.
no.
On this
Different
subject.
subject? Okay, on the same subject, Councilor Gibson, you have something on the same subject or different subject?
Same subject.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I think this is a valid point, and I'm of the mindset that since I've been on city council almost 8 years plus, that I've never seen the city council, our management team, so thin like we have right now, and I think that we need to act expeditiously, and I think we can be efficient in our expeditiously acting to try to pursue qualified talent to fill some of these vacancies, because we have people, who do I turn people on to who wants to come and develop in the city of Carson? We had a Cliff Graves. We don't have a Cliff Graves. We don't have a Jackie. We do have a Jackie, but we don't have. So there's so many different holes, and we have people again acting, and we need to move. And so this is not a surprise to us that we have some vital key members of our team, and those teams or those individuals' positions that are vacant are critical to this city moving forward. Whether economic development, whether it's public works, etc., we need to move someone with the same expertise and same level that we once had. And I have a hard time continuing to move everybody towards Jackie. So Jackie's being, all things, all people, and she can't do it. And so we just need to, one, look at the weaknesses and try to work in a fashion to fill some of the gaps that we have here. And so we need to put a plan together. And I understand that we are looking at a firm to deal with the city manager position. That's the city manager. The council only hired 2 people, the city manager and the city attorney. That's it. And so I want to make sure that the acting city manager, who is Jackie Costa, has the authority to hire
Mr.
those individuals in these particular positions.
Oh, I want to put it on there.
So,
I want to.
so is that what we're not?
Let's put it on the agenda.
Is that what we're doing?
We cannot. It's not on the agenda. I just
I
told
want,
us.
these are things that I'm discussing.
Okay, wait a minute now. We can't debate it, so Councilman Gibson, you still have the floor. When you're complete, you let us know.
Okay.
Out of floor.
We didn't have this item on the agenda so we can
Oh.
vet it out properly.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm asking,
Relinquish the floor?
I'm asking for it to be placed.
That's actually, we are on your item. That's right. I'm going to address it too then.
I'm asking for this item to be placed on the agenda at our next city council. Oh, go on.
That was what my request was. Okay. Then,
Okay, so please, your request is what exactly?
to put
Councilwoman Davis.
on the agenda the discussion of hiring the vacant department directors' positions.
Because I'm applying
I
for
said
one.
vacant, whichever ones they are.
I'm going to comment, don't worry.
Department directors' positions. I know that we are doing a salary search, so that's my request. Then I would also like.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you want to talk?
I'd like
to me?
you, yeah, you asked us to make comments and I agreed to do that.
I thought
So
we,
before you switch
okay.
subjects, my first point, we do not have the legal authority to appoint department heads, directors, managers. Only the city manager or the acting / interim city manager can do that.
We know that.
We can't do that. Okay, so first point. Second point is that we've had acting / interim, because to me there's not much difference, if any, where we had Cliff Graves as acting or interim city manager. If I recall, it was at least 6 months, maybe longer. And in this case, we have a very capable acting city manager. So I'm very confident in her ability. I do agree that she needs help. She's just placed Cedric Hicks in the acting position, a man who's also very capable of doing that job. And it was unexpected that Ray Cruz was hired out to another city. But, when unexpected things happen, you deal with them. We have a coping mechanism that works in Carson, and I think we need to go forward with the process of allowing this executive search firm to bring to us what we have legal authority to do, which is appoint a city manager. And I hope that our acting city manager applies for that position. Now, we could change our form or our structure and have a city administrator instead of a city manager. But that's for another day, another discussion. I also want to conclude by saying that we have a city council committee pursuing this whole reorganization of the city staff. It's transparent. It's going to bring forward, input from various people. It is an ad hoc committee, so it's not a standing committee, because it's personnel matters in some cases that are brought up. You don't, waive that in public. That's not proper to do that. So this committee is made up of Councilmember Robus and Mayor Deere, and we are moving forward with that. So please have confidence in the two of us to bring back a report to the whole body as to what we would recommend. It's going to take time, but we are moving forward. We just had a meeting yesterday on that. That's all I have to say on that.
Mr. Mayor?
Council, yes, Mr. City Attorney?
The real issue here for the agenda item, and the reason that Councilwoman Davis Holmes is unhappy with me, is that she wants to talk about the appointment of an interim city manager, and there was an objection to a closed session listing of that. We did some further investigation, and we concluded that the objection was well taken, that considering whether to recruit for or make an appointment to an interim city manager is a public discussion. The interview of a potential candidate or the ultimate appointment of the candidate can be done in closed session. So that's what we've got to get on the public agenda, and when we get that on the next agenda, all of the issues that you're kicking around right now are fair game for a discussion about whether you should appoint an interim city manager.
But if we do that in closed session. We do it publicly to decide to
do the discussion
take
as
that
to
action.
whether you want to interview and find an interim city manager, but the actual interviewing and appointment can be done in closed session.
Right. But
So that's what
it's two
didn't get
separate
back on
steps.
there's a two-step process. That's what didn't get back on the agenda, and that's why the councilwoman is rightfully unhappy with me. But that's what needs to be put on the agenda from her perspective for a discussion. So it's not a discussion of appointing department heads. It's a discussion of appointing an interim city manager and
So-
whether you want to do that.
Thank you. So the bottom line is you are making the official request tonight to add this item, and you're telling the acting city manager, Jackie Acosta. Well, I know. Well, we can't really discuss. We can't discuss the pros and cons of it. It's not. The Brown Act doesn't allow it. But you can ask for it to be on the council members' present request to add items to future agendas, and that's what you're doing, correct? Okay, Ms. Acosta, you acknowledge that she's done that. So next council meeting, that'll be in this category that she requested it be in.
To appoint what?
No, it'll be in this category.
Right, the two-step.
Okay, but so we're not here till midnight rehashing over and over. Let's move on our agenda.
Point of
Can I-
clarification.
Okay, Councilman Gibson, you have a right to a point of clarification. You must state your point of clarification.
My point of clarification is that the acting, because I'm hearing some different things. So the acting city manager has the authority to go on and fill these vacancies now. So we don't have to use it's not an excuse. I don't want to use the term excuse. We don't have to use that we don't have an interim city manager or a permanent city manager. Well, now I want you to tell me that.
Really, at
You
this
tell me
point,
that.
we have kind of moved into the merits of the underlying discussion.
Okay.
So let's save that and we'll put it on next agenda.
Thank you, Mr.
We'll
Williams.
make sure that it gets on the agenda.
Well spoken, Mr. City.
Okay. Councilwoman Davis Holmes, you have further items.
Okay, yes, and it shouldn't be, we are on the third step process, so it shouldn't have to go through the two-step again, because it's been requested, somebody dropped the ball. Is it possible for me to get a status report on the Dominguez Park lights, the Hemingway Park and Carson Park improvements, update a status report on that, and an updated report on the Carson Freight. I think it was the Carson Freight status report. And we discussed this under Jerry Groom some time ago, and I've seen some emails flying back and forth, and I think we need to be brought up to just a refresher, because I know our councilman is not familiar with it all, but I do remember these reports with Jerry Groom's. It went back that far. So just an updated report so we can all have it.
Yes.
Carson Freight recommendations.
Right. Yes, I have asked staff to put together a report because it's been a couple years since it's been in front of the council.
Right.
So just to give you an update on where that whole process is.
So the Hemingway Park, Carson Park, Dominguez Park lights and ball diamonds. That's been floating around for a while.